Hey, it's Connie Whitlock, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on Monday night's council meeting, which was on September 22nd. So there was audit reports, there was a farm to table waiver fee thing, there was board appointments, there was a Dogwood energy facility agreement, street overlays, city pool operations, park vandalisms, and there you go. That's what we're going to talk about. Let's get started. The audit report. The night began with Pleasant Hill's annual audit presented by Clifton Larson Allen LLP. The city's finances are stable, with the general fund balance growing by nearly $500,000 this year. That leaves Pleasant Hill with more than 10 months of reserves, far above the national minimum standard. So we're in good standing. Auditor Doug Host summed it up by telling the council, your fund balance in the general fund is very strong. While the city's overall fund balances rose by more than $7 million, much of that comes from unspent 2024 bond proceeds. Revenues and expenses nearly balanced out across the board, finishing the year with about $11,000 of even. So basically, we're doing fine overall. There was not a deep dive into our accounts. This was not a deep dive audit. This is just to make sure that we balanced, we're strong. There you go. That's what that was. I actually looked at some other cities like Harrisonville, and I think it was peculiar, and you can find that on phmomag.com. I kind of compared the debt ratio with the people, the population, and you know what? We're not doing too bad. We probably should watch ourselves that we don't get too off track. You know how it is when you have that handy dandy credit card, for all your things you want, and then you're finding yourself down the road going, I lost my job, or you know what I'm saying? So something to look at, but I don't think we're doing too bad according to Doug Host. So let's move on. Let's move on to farm things. Farm to table fee waiver. So the PHHD, or Pleasant Hill Historic District, is holding a longest table event on Saturday night at 5:00. It's going to be a fun event. They want the community to come out and eat together. You do have to have tickets, and they are sold out, but next year will be your time. So make sure that you buy your tickets for next year when they come up. You'll have to kind of get involved with the PHHD, maybe their website, or talk to Martha at Press Monkey. Go get a cup of coffee. Hey, Martha, I'm giving you some business here. So she actually showed me a video of the longest table in Italy yesterday. It was so cool. So cool. And the tables just went on and on and on. Their vision is just to get the whole town eating together. It was so amazing. But they wanted the memorial building for a backup in case it rained, and they wanted the fee waived. Apparently, the city has waived fees before for nonprofits, and discussed on Monday night, wasn't last night, on Monday night, they discussed that they need to be more consistent. They can't just waive it for this person and not waive it for this organization or whatever. So they decided to give everybody 50% off that's a nonprofit. And that's what they got. Martha kind of went up and said, hey, that's what I'm here for, is to make sure things are consistent. So that's going to happen this Sunday. I'm excited because I did buy my tickets. I think I was one of the first ones. I don't know. I heard they sold out quick. So there you go. Board appointments and reappointments. So we're going to talk about boards now. The council also handled business related to its volunteer boards and commissions. Jeremy Howell was appointed to the park board from a pool of 12 applicants. He comes with a strong background in coaching and youth sports. So that'll be helpful, right? Several members were also reappointed. Mark Crane, first appointed in 2018, and Jeremy Mers, who joined in 2020. Can you imagine joining that year? That must have been a trip. Will both continue on the park board. Trisha Bach, appointed earlier this year, begins her first full term. Welcome, Trisha Bach. I love your last name, by the way. It's my favorite composer. And Mark Guffey returns to the Community Betterment Association after serving previous terms. The Community Betterment Association, I think, manages rent for the city, and then those funds will go to to better the city. So I don't know all the details on that. I just know that that's what the community betterment does. Mayor John King praised those who stepped forward, saying it's hard to get volunteers. He added that he intends to speak with members that might not show up all the time, and maybe we can get their attendance up. I teach piano. I know how hard it is for people to show up every single week or every single month or whatever. Things come up. I get that, and we all get that, but he would like to improve that. And I can see why. So boards and commissions are one of the key ways residents can get involved in shaping Pleasant Hill's future. Some members, like Chris Livingston on Planning and Zoning and Jeff Wilson on Historic Preservation Commission, they've been there a long time, have served close to 2 decades, a testament to the dedication many bring to their roles. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Chris. So let's see. Next up was Dogwood Energy Facility Agreement. One of the biggest items of the evening was a long discussed agreement with the Dogwood Energy Facility. So basically, the Dogwood facility needs a sewer. They have water that comes from making energy. And so they need somewhere for it to go. And they're asking Pleasant Hill if they can build a pipe to connect with our sewer system. So basically, we didn't have a code to cover that. We just have codes to cover, we get water, or actually, I'm not in town, I'm rural, but you all get water and you deposit water into the sewer system. But they only need to deposit their water, the result of what they do there into the sewer system. So they passed that, and on PHMOMAG there is a lot more information, but Dogwood will pay a flat monthly fee of $1,110 plus $5.44 for every 1,000 gallons of discharge. John Self came up and said, look, I heard, or I'm aware that Dogwood Energy is going to be monitoring how many gallons is coming out of them into our sewers. And I think that he thinks that that we should be monitoring that. I'm not sure what the answer is to that, although I kind of looked some things up, and it looks like that we can come in just like when we have our water meters monitored from time to time. They can come in and make sure that everything's on the up and up. So let's talk streets. Now it's time to talk street overlay project. Council approved this year's asphalt overlay program, with Pleasant Hill spending $472,082.64 to resurface several key streets. The city budgeted $500,000 for 2025 overlays. Instead of bidding the work separately, Pleasant Hill contracted under a Jackson County cooperative purchasing bid with Superior Bowen, that was a lot of words, which secures bulk pricing for multiple governments. Streets included in this year's work is Wright Street from Strictus to Bermuda, and I thought you'd be interested in some of the finances here. To do that, it's going to cost $157,515.28. Ridge Tree Drive and Lane, including Owen Drive intersection, will cost $354. There you go. $174,354. There you go. That's what it is. 2 sections of Lexington Avenue is $140,213.36. I'm getting good at this. Public Works Director Tony Bakken told the council these areas were prioritized because they've required repeated patching. Precinct 22 resident, which is downtown Pleasant Hill, Jessica Elliott, urged the city to look beyond newer subdivisions, saying, I don't know if anybody else has driven around Precinct 22, but the streets are literally falling apart. It's an old part of town. I moved there 30 years ago. We lived there for about 3 years, had the same problem. I think that's everywhere until they get around to it, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I have seen some overlay projects done downtown in my lifetime. I don't know. I don't know how bad it is. I need to drive around and find out. Maybe you can tell me. Show me. Take some pictures and send them to me. I would love that. Okay. Now let's talk about the swimming pool. The city government, our government, Pleasant Hill, or the city of Pleasant Hill, is considering taking the management of the pool back from Midwest Pool Management. Now that was, they threw out some numbers and how much we could save or what it would take. And, it was a lengthy conversation. Councilwoman Niner said, I like contracting it out. We've never been in a situation where we couldn't open the pool because of lifeguard staff, correct? So here's the thing. We contract this company out, and they have contracts with cities all around us. And what basically happens is if a lifeguard can't make it, they go to another city and say, hey, can you come over here? Like one of their lifeguards that happen to be off duty, can you come over here and lifeguard for us? And so they kind of have resources we don't have. Question of the day would be, who would manage it and how much time would that take? Oh, that'd be like managing a business. Oh, that would be wild. Okay. Also, there was talk that there's not a lot of hours available, so they would almost have to overstaff to do it, because otherwise the pool's going to be closed so many times, because it's like, how it is. People don't show up. They get sick, right? And then there's nobody to do the job. No decision was made Monday, but the park board will review the options in October. Did you know that there was park vandalism? Yes, we have these beautiful new parks, right? And I don't know what these kids or people are thinking. And, nice new parks. I'm going to go screw it up. I don't know. Thousands of dollars, your tax money, and these kids are going and saying, hey, this is my playground to just paint on or destroy. I know some of the bathroom, I think there was a sign that was torn off, and it took a lot of effort to do that. So, let's respect property. If you know who these people are, please report. Hey, we need to know. We need to make sure these people know they can't do that. They are talking about having cameras down there. Guys, come on, let's this is where it's going. We're getting cameras for public spaces so we know whose kids are vandalizing what. I think we could do better, Pleasant Hill. That's just my opinion. But okay, other updates. There's a few other notes at the end here. The Price Chopper Marketplace site plan is fully approved with the final variance granted. The city's water tower is currently drained for rehabilitation, with contractors working nearly 7 days a week. Sidewalk projects are facing delays due to backflow testing and traffic control issues. And staff reported that preparations for homecoming are well underway, from cleanup to floats to fireworks. It's going to be fun on Friday. Really, really fun. So that's what's going on. You didn't have to sit through it. I sat through it for you. So until next time, in a couple weeks, I may do one in between. I have some things I'd like to talk about that have come up. I did get a packet last night of 35 claims made about the UDC online. So it's online, in-person council meetings, emails, or correspondence, or whatever. They answered every one of them. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Not sure there's much there, but hey, it'll be interesting to look at. They did make the effort to do that. That says something. So until next time, see you later.